Welcome back to the Overcomfort Podcast. I am your host, Jenicka Lopez. I am so excited because today is just going to be a talk with me and you. I want to be able to talk about something that has definitely helped me in my healing, and I truly believe is the core of how I'm bettering myself every day. Because the goal is to better yourself every day, to be a better person, to be kind, to be a healed person. You know, healing never ends. I will say that. At least I haven't found the end. So, but it gets easier. And one thing that I have practiced is definitely healing your inner child. And today we're going to talk about the importance of healing your inner child, because what happens inside is a reflection, what happens inside will reflect on the outside. So, for example, if you guys do not know how to heal your inner child, if you need help, or if you truly just don't understand it, we're going to talk about it today. Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about it today because, like I said, it's definitely helped me in my healing journey and rediscovering who I am and understanding parts of myself. Why is it important? Let's talk about the why. It is important because, like I said, what happens on the inside, if you don't figure out what's going on, the damaged parts of you, or even the positive things about you on the inside, it'll reflect on the outside, and it just comes out. It can come off bitter. It could come off angry. It could come off sad. It can come off depressed, or it can come off as people pleasing, or just anxiety as well. Like some people's, like, you know, for me, let me give an example of my inner child work. Let's say my inner child trauma, self-sabotage, because I feel like I've never been able to amount. And these are things that I'm not saying this is because of my parents or because of anyone in specific. Sometimes it is, but things that I have may felt like a child sticks with me till this day as an adult. And that's what I mean, where you have to figure out your inside in order to move on the outside. And as you get older as well, if you're carrying certain things since you were a child, it's going to reflect in your adult life and even possibly in your children's life. And that's where I go into breaking generational curses. Generational curses of anger, divorce, abuse. It could be anything. So for me, what I want to work on right now as an adult is my fear of abandonment. I get that fear because both my parents passed away when I was 12 and 15. So I feel like anybody can disappear at any moment of my life, and it scares me. And I'm learning to be okay with not getting goodbyes, or if people do leave. And to stop letting that fear drive me, and to stop holding on to those people, because it's unhealthy. It could be toxic. If I'm holding on to a certain relationship, for example, if I'm in a relationship with my boyfriend, and I'm scared to live a life without him, and he's abusive and he's toxic and whatever, and I'm scared, it's because I've had a fear of abandonment, that I'm not going to be loved, or he's just going to disappear, and I want to hold on to him really, really tight. People pleasing. I have a huge problem with people pleasing, and I've learned that in these last couple years that it's okay to say no, to stop being everybody's yes person. And I got that also when I was younger, because I feel like I'm still trying to figure out where I'm learning these things, like my inner child, like certain moments. But I do feel like it definitely has to do with seeing my mom being that pillar for everybody, and her providing everything. That automatically in my brain, I'm like, I'm going to be just like that. I want to make sure that everybody's okay. I want to be pleasing people, but without knowing that it's damaging me. It damages me as an adult, because if I say yes and then I get the wrong outcome, then that's on me. You know what I mean? So I want to work on people pleasing, learning to say no. I am working on it. We're going to go on a quick break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, you guys. definitely low self-esteem. I have struggled with low self-esteem, self-confidence, since for a long time. And I feel like I've shared it a couple times before on the podcast, but it's also because, of my weight and being compared to my sisters, my mom, always feeling like I have to worry about that. And then growing up, I was always on diets. I've gotten surgery, and I've had to learn as an adult to appreciate and love my body. And to tell my younger self, like, it's okay, you're still beautiful. You're still beautiful no matter what size, what shape, any aspect, if I'm making sense in that way. Another thing is definitely drawing boundaries. And I think that goes with people pleasing. It goes hand in hand. Growing up, I never saw boundaries in my family. You had to tell everybody everything. Dirty clothes were just out everywhere or people had an opinion on your life. And that's what I witnessed growing up in my families. Like, now that I'm an adult, I know, like, okay, this is how much access you have to me. I don't need your opinion on my relationship. I don't need your opinion on my home if you don't pay the bills or if you don't provide. I don't need your opinion about what I'm wearing because this is my clothes. So there's definitely little things like that has helped me grow up genuinely, and to heal that part of me and move forward in my life, and to help that in my future with my children or my nieces and nephews. Another example is being a good tia. I never really had a good enough tia or Nina. I don't have a godmother, but I know what I want to be to my nieces and nephews, to my goddaughters. Like, I want to be able to take care of them the way that I need it to be, or to provide for them, or be a fun tia. Like, there's very little memories, maybe till I was about like 10. I don't like very little, but I want to be better than what I grew up with in that sense. And that is the whole purpose. Like, it's who you were as a child holds your beliefs, it holds your innocence, it holds, who you are genuinely. And recognizing parts that are wrong and the parts that are positive is super important in your adult life. And I feel like a lot of people have a hard time addressing that and are stuck in I don't know what to do, or in just like a simple situation that just doesn't help or benefit you. And you're trying to find the answer. Start with your inner healing. Start with figuring out the problems or why you're mad. Maybe you're mad at your parents for doing something when you were younger, or maybe you need a break and you don't know why you are a certain way that you are. You have to sit down and think and journal. Like, look, if I'm angry, for example, I'm a person with anger problems. I get angry easily. Maybe you saw your dad get angry, or maybe you're just upset that, it could be that your dad wasn't in the picture, or your mom, or this certain person, etc., etc. Address those things. Write a letter. I feel like writing letters to those people or to yourself is super important. And even as simple as like your dream job. Like, you had a dream when you were little of having your own baking shop, or you always dreamt of, I don't know, going to Disneyland. You go do those things. Make your heart happy, make your soul happy. And I promise you, it'll reflect on the inside. I mean, on the outside in such a healthy way. And it'll bring so much more light and airy. And I genuinely believe that this is what has definitely brought a lot of closure in my life, in my personal life, and in my friendships and in my relationships. And I'm going to do another episode about goodbyes and having boundaries, because I feel like that is super important as well. Having boundaries, letting people know how much access they have to you, and taking your power back. Most importantly, it is taking your power back when you were a child to now being an adult. Like, you're in control of your own life and of your own happiness. and it doesn't rely or depend on anybody else but yourself. And I am a true firm believer that your inner child will truly appreciate the work that you're doing as an adult now and to heal it. We're going to go on a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back, you guys. I found this amazing article to help describe and give you easier steps to heal your inner child, because we were all children once. We were all kids once in our lives, and they still remain. Those memories lie within us. And it doesn't mean specifically that you had to have a bad childhood to heal childhood trauma. No. You can have childhood trauma even if you had the happiest childhood. You had your parents, etc., etc. There's still parts of it that need to be healed. So, let me go ahead and read it. It says, many of the children are hiding. They're waiting for someone to come and acknowledge their pain. Like I said, it could happen in a healthy childhood or unhealthy. And I think, and I always revert to the Bible. Sorry, I'm gonna go back to read that. But I always revert to the Bible that children are so pure and innocent. You have to go back to that. And that's who, what was it? I think it's the children enter the gates. Something like that. I gotta, when I bring up the Bible, I gotta be more specific. But there is a part of the Bible where children are very specific, pure and innocent. Be pure and innocent as a child. As like a child. I'm pure as snow or something like that. And I always pray to God. I'm like, God, just purify my heart. Purify my inner child. Bring me back to my innocence. Obviously, I sin. Everybody sins, and that's totally normal. But remind me of your goodness. Remind me of how beautiful things were when I was a child. And I want to be free. I want to be careless. I don't want to have to worry. Like, I want to live my life freely as a child. You look at kids and you're like, damn, I wish I had that life. But you want to be able to work towards that and remember, like, I'm happy because I healed myself. Back to the article. Those children are still with us today. Many of them are hiding. They're waiting for someone to come and acknowledge their pain. Once that happens, they'll be ready to enjoy every moment carefree and light. They want to express themselves. For that, they need to feel safe and loved. When they can't, it's usually because of unsolved trauma. These are painful experiences from the past that you learn to suppress. You may not notice them in everyday life, but that doesn't mean that they're not there. Your inner child may sabotage your adult experience by trying to get you to heal its unsolved issues. You can do that through reparenting yourself. This means providing a loving presence and compassion, self-compassion that you wish you received as a child. This usually happens in 3 stages: connecting with your inner child, listening to what it has to say, and nurturing the child and meeting its emotional needs. And that is basically the point. Connect with yourself. Listen to what your body is saying. I'm telling you guys, journaling is a top 1 thing. If you're on this healing journey and if you want to better yourself, start journaling. It'll bring so much healing. You'll see things and pay attention to yourself. Pay attention to why you do things. Be more self-aware. Like, open your eyes more to what you're seeing. I feel like being self-aware will bring a lot of answers as well. And being compassionate with yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. And that's definitely one thing that I struggle with too. And I've learned since I've been a kid. Like, I always felt like I had to have the perfect grades. I'm a perfectionist. I have OCD. And those are things that were reflected because I saw, like, I don't like I get anxious, And that's because of certain experiences that I've had as a child. So you have to listen to yourself. Listen and be kind to yourself. And like I always say, it's always okay not to be okay. And I'm going to pray for everybody on their journey to healing and pray for your inner child. Take yourself to Disneyland, or maybe, if you had a bad experience at Disneyland, take yourself back there as an adult right now and experience joy. Heal that part of you. If you haven't talked to your parents because of this or that or etc., talk to them. Move on. Or if you feel like you don't need to, forgive yourself, forgive them, and move on. God be with this person. God be with this situation. Heal my heart in this situation. And I promise you it will be. And I'm on the same journey as you guys. I encourage you guys to just keep moving forward, head towards the light, and just Be grateful. Be grateful that we all have experiences to learn from with a purpose and that are important. Everything happens for a reason, and I am a firm and true believer on that. Everything happens for a reason. All you got to do is open your eyes and just receive it. Receive whatever it is and take it as a lesson or whatever. All right, you guys, that is going to be it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching from wherever you guys are at. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Overcomfort Podcast is a production of iHeart's My Cultura podcast network.